It's a significant piece of evidence that caught everyone off guard. It's a smoking gun. Hi and welcome to Blossom Talk. I'm Kjersti Flaa, and here on my channel I talk about my good and bad experiences in Hollywood and working as an entertainment reporter. If you watched my latest episode, you noticed that I have a new studio, which I mentioned in that video. So yes, I am not in LA at the moment. I am in Spain, in Mallorca, a beautiful, beautiful island, and this is my studio for now. But even though I'm here, I'm going to keep on reporting about everything happening in Hollywood, and especially Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, Ryan Reynolds, and Taylor Swift. Because today's news is that Taylor and Blake are friends again. Apparently they are talking, and Blake Lively has apologized, it says in the Daily Mail. I find that a little hard to believe because I've never heard Blake Lively apologize to anyone except when she posted something about Princess Kate Middleton when she was battling cancer and she was trying to be funny. I think she did apologize after that. But apart from that, she's not known for apologizing to anyone about anything. But apparently now she has apologized to Taylor Swift. It says in the Daily Mail that a source told News Nation that they have worked everything out. I don't know how they made that happen, but because it's still obvious that Taylor Swift will be deposed by Brian Friedman in this lawsuit. So I don't know what Blake has said to her, that maybe she's sorry that she called her dragon. There's no new pictures of them together. Nothing proves that this is actually true. But I can totally see that it's in Blake Lively's interest to still have Taylor Swift on her side. But I think it's going to be a long time before we see the two of them together. Who wants to risk that? It says here that Taylor is taking stock of which of her friends are good for her and who name drops her for personal gain after Blakegate. I love that they're calling it Blakegate. So that's from a second insider who said this. I find it weird, kind of hard to believe that Taylor Swift didn't learn this lesson earlier in her career, that people will take advantage of her and their friendship. But as we know now, that Blake totally took advantage of that friendship, not only to pressure Justin Baldoni with her dragon, but also the way she used Taylor to pressure Sony, I think, to get everything that she wanted for It Ends With Us. As we know, she used her music. Taylor even played a part in auditioning Isabelle Ferrer, as we know now. So yes, Taylor has a big part in this, and she's not going to get away with just being friends with Blake again. She will get deposed by Brian Friedman, that's for sure. In the same story, there's a photo of Ryan Reynolds that he's at a Wrexham game, rooting for his team, which won. What I noticed in these photos is that Ryan Reynolds is standing by himself in all the photos. I find that kind of interesting, that no one wants to stand next to him in a picture. There are some people in the background like, yay, but no one wants to stand next to Ryan Reynolds, because they know if they do, they have to close off their comment section on Instagram. There's one very interesting story today that I saw, that Katie from Without a Crystal Ball, I'm sure you know her from YouTube and maybe on Instagram. She finds all these amazing things, and she said that someone that follows her sent this to her. The original complaint that Blake filed to California Civil Rights Department. So they sent it to her, and something really interesting came from that. That's the complaint that ended up being an article basically in the New York Times in the end of December. So that's where all of this started, and a lot of people thought, that was a lawsuit, but it wasn't. It was just a complaint that was sent to California Civil Rights Department. So Blake Lively didn't file this complaint herself. Her lawyer did it for her. And instead of saying that the claims were definitely true, the lawyer said that Blake believed them to be true. And that is a legal way to avoid being accused of lying under oath. She didn't state this was true. She said she believed it to be true. And it didn't come directly from Blake. It came from her lawyer. Also, it says here that the CRD didn't actually fact check the complaint to see if it was actually true. They didn't look into anything. They didn't investigate anything. They didn't even make sure that it met legal standards. Blake also refused an investigation. She actually chose for the CRD not to look into any of her claims. She didn't want them to look further into anything or investigate anything. Isn't that pretty revealing? And also, the CRD didn't send this complaint to the people that are involved. They didn't send this complaint to the Wayfarer or to Justin Baldoni. They didn't send it to anyone. Instead, Blake Lively gave it to the New York Times, meaning that she wasn't interested in any of this to be righted, to be corrected, or to be investigated. The only thing she was interested in was to get this out in the public, and this says it all. It isn't even a real legal filing. And they didn't send them to Wayfarer Studios or to Justin Baldoni, so no one had the chance to respond to this. It was sent to the New York Times and not to the people that were actually accused of things by Blake Lively, that she believed to have done these things to her. The person's name on the letter is Ezra Hudson and not Blake Lively. So basically, Blake Lively filed a complaint to avoid any real investigation or any legal process. So the only real reason would be to get the story out there to the public. So I had to go and ask ChatGPT what happens if someone lies under oath, which could be something that Blake Lively might have to do if this goes to court. She doesn't even say in this CRD complaint that these things happen. She said she believes them to be true, or she doesn't say it, but the person who speaks for her says it. And it says here that there is a loophole that if you are saying or believing that a thing is true instead of saying that it is true, you just believe it's true, that creates some kind of wiggle room. So it's not a direct claim or facts. So it's harder to prove someone lied knowingly. That means it's so much harder to charge him with perjury if it turns out the statement wasn't true. The thing is, if you lie in federal court, you could get up to 5 years in prison. So that's probably another reason why Blake Lively just believed things to be true and not saying it is true, just as Ryan Reynolds did recently when he was filing a motion to dismiss Justin Baldoni's lawsuit against him, saying that he believed he was a predator. In his mind, that was his opinion. He didn't say it was true, he just said he believed it. So, another story today, which I found really encouraging for everyone out there supporting Justin Baldoni, is that a legal expert has come out and said that he believes, or she believes, that that video that went viral, I think it's like a week ago now, where Blake Lively is grabbing Henry Golding's crotch. There is a video with her and Paul Feig, the director, discussing this scene, and he says to her, one of my favorite additions that you came up with was grabbing his and director Paul Feig can be heard saying in the recorded commentary playing over the film. And then he said, you really went for it too. And he's laughing, and Lively said, that's always awkward. Hey, nice to meet you. Can I grab your really hard? Not because I want to, but because I feel like my character Emily would. So a source close to Baldoni is quoted here saying that this video will absolutely be used by Justin Baldoni's legal team in the case against Blake. It's a significant piece of evidence that caught everyone off guard. It's a smoking gun. Blake admitted to grabbing her co-star's crotch as improvisation, and Paul confirmed that it was an unscripted addition. The video captures Blake doing exactly what she's now accusing Justin of, except worse. If Justin had grabbed Blake's crotch on her or her breast without her consent, she likely would have pursued criminal charges for assault. Yet, when she did it in a simple favor, she laughed it off. So true. And yeah, another example that you guys, what you find out there when you go looking for things, are really helping Justin Baldoni and his case. This is the third or the fourth time that something like this happened, that the internet sleuths out there find all this stuff, and it gets picked up by the legal team of Justin Baldoni. So this is like pretty amazing. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens when this goes to court now, because I think, as so many legal experts has predicted right now, is that it will actually go to court. In the beginning, everyone was like, no, they're going to settle. This always happens in these cases, people settle. But I don't think so anymore. Anyways, thanks for watching again, you guys. And thanks for being patient with me getting settled here in Spain. And yes, if you're in Mallorca, hit me up. I'm here. And please keep sending me tips and keep me posted on things happening. I am so grateful that you guys are always being so generous with me. So thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss an episode of Flaa Talk. And I'll see you in my next episode. Bye.